is currently working in the medical device industry, and she's passionate about obviously recruiting people, the best people, to the job. She's going to talk about job hunting from her perspective and her experience. And she's going to be able to share some slides with us. So welcome, Sendra Luong. Over to you, Sendra.
Thank you, Anka. I'm going to share my screen. I'm trying to stand up for once. Wait, I can't see me though. If I stand like here. Well, welcome everyone. I can't see myself, so tell me if you can see me. So welcome everyone on this job hunting session. So I'm Sandra. I'm a recruitment manager, as Anka said, and I'm delighted to be presenting this workshop to you tonight, giving you some tips, advices on how to optimize your job search or kickstarting your year doing the best to find your dream job if you are looking for one. So I will start with introducing what we will cover in this section. So I am going to talk about how to be visible. Secondly, how to do Boolean search, or what it is briefly. Why using LinkedIn to look for jobs. I'm going to give a quick overview. And finally, we will talk about your branding. So we can start with how to be visible on the market, on the job markets out there. So I won't, sorry, here better. So I won't stop talking about LinkedIn. Obviously, it's one of my favorite tools. If you're not on LinkedIn yet and you are open to new opportunities, are open to people contacting you about roles, please register on it and subscribe, get an account. If you need help on doing your profile, you can always reach out to me. I'm always happy to set it up with you or give you advices on how to set up a good LinkedIn profile. A few years ago, actually, a colleague asked me, I was working in the construction industry at the time, and they asked me, Sandra, what is LinkedIn? What it is and what is it for? And my the HR manager just replied to this colleague saying, well, LinkedIn is where Sandra goes shopping for candidates. It's a bit brutal way to say it, but this is basically what it is. This is where a recruiter tends to select the profiles they want for the job we are recruiting for, or just where we network with potential future candidates. We can be interested in job opportunities. So yes, LinkedIn is key in your job search. So I hope you're making the most of it. And we will see a little bit later how you can use it, other features of LinkedIn. Job boards, obviously, it's really important to be on main job boards. So I've mentioned a few. I've mentioned Indeed, CV Library, CW Jobs, Total Jobs, etc. These are the one I came across often in my previous companies and current company. So we can talk a little bit more about these later. Recruitment agencies. So it's important to be connected or to know some recruitment agencies if you have, well, either for either general search or even if you are looking for a role in a very specific area, very specific sector. I would say it's always good to be linked to specialized agencies, agencies specialized in, let's take my example, being a recruiter. If I want to be connected to people who specialize only in recruiting HR or recruiter professionals, then they know who on the market is recruiting, and they would know who to approach to send my profiles to the right companies. So I would always advise you to be in contact with a few of them. Obviously, be careful in selecting who you send your CV to, because some can be a bit cheeky and they can send you CVs without asking you or things like that. So it's good to have a good relationship with them when you are looking for a job. I would say also, go to as many online events as you can. This is where you can do some networking. For example, in our Oxford Speakers Clubs, we have breakout areas where we talk about our everyday lives, anything really. Sometimes we can talk about our jobs, and this is where you can be talking to the right person at the right moment, and they can connect you to other people who are actually maybe recruiting for a role, and you have the right profile. So be online, be communicative about your job search. Don't be ashamed or afraid of being jobless. Everyone needs to know you're looking for a job, so at least you won't miss out on this opportunity to be linked to the right person. So same for social media, you know, on LinkedIn, for example, when you post, you can post a status of like, for example, if you're looking for this role in X industry and you've got X experience, sometimes just a little line about what you're looking for can go viral. I've seen some posts on LinkedIn of people who are looking for a job and people just liked it. And when you like a status on LinkedIn, it gets shared across everyone's network who are liking your post. So it's a really easy way of being visible on networks of people you don't even know. So that's a good thing if you are on LinkedIn or even Facebook or Instagram. I don't know, sometimes a post can be shared and it can go to the right person again. So don't underestimate the power of being visible online, and again, everywhere. So whether it is to your friends, your family, sport groups, clubs, everyone needs to know you're looking for a job, so you're not missing out. Now I'm going to talk about some popular job boards. I already went through this last time in my workshop about LinkedIn. So Indeed is a very popular job board. So most of my peers in recruitment are using it. So in my current role, I do use Indeed to look for candidates across various industries. I use CV Library as well, Total Job, Read.co.uk, LinkedIn. So these are the one I use. So to be a bit more specific, I think CV Library is good for almost all kind of jobs, mainly, I don't know, civil engineering, construction, and medical devices and pharma. We have all types of profiles. Read.co.uk maybe is more for business support functions like marketing, HR, finance, bid writing, procurement. So it's a good one to have if you are working in supply chain. Again, really is quite visible and used. So here I have recorded a little section on Boolean search. It's an example of search I did on Indeed. So what is Boolean search? It's a tool that uses the word and or not to optimize your search online. So here I've done a very basic example. I'm going to play it and I hope you can hear.
So here we can look, for example, a software engineer, and I don't know, if you are specialized in medical devices, you can look for software engineer and medical.
Oh, could you see that?
So here we can look, for example.
Oh, sorry. I'll just stay on that mode. Actually, I'll go on presentation mode. Sorry about that. Oh, is it okay if I stay like this on this view? On the next, yeah.
I think someone said in the chat if you put it on presentation view, it'd be slightly better.
Yeah,
Okay.
it would be slightly bigger. That's
So
good.
yeah, I'm going to reopen it then. Is it here on view?
Slideshow, current slide.
Current, oh, where is it? Okay, like this. Oh, perfect. Thank you, team. So,
Thank you.
so here is an example of search I've recorded on Indeed. So I've been looking for a software engineer with medical devices industry, and I selected Oxford as a location. And here we can see a glimpse of results that showed up.
Start with. So here you go. And then you can look for all the jobs here that are on Indeed.
So you can try that method of searching, whether it is on Google, on LinkedIn, on any job boards. So normally they would recognize Boolean method of searching, and you can be very specific in what you're looking for. Sorry.
So here we can look for.
Next slide, I'm talking about looking for jobs on LinkedIn. You've got the feature jobs on the right hand corner here, and I'm giving you a little demo.
Okay, so this is your home page, let's say, and you want to look for jobs. So I think this function is not used enough on LinkedIn, so we can do an example here. This is one of the searches I've typed before, so you can look for a software engineer with medical devices and .NET, so that's a language, a coding language, and you can search in the United Kingdom. So you can do that, press search, and you have all the results of all the jobs here. So the good thing about this LinkedIn feature is you can save that search and get some alerts on. So if you click alerts, you can customize your alerts to be received daily, weekly, get notified by email, notifications. So that's a good tool to have because I think more and more companies are advertising their jobs on LinkedIn. So you can search via this way, and you can also create some alerts, more alerts. So for example, I had one before here, and activate the job recommendation button here. Okay, so that's it.
So yeah, that's a section that you can obviously see on your home page on LinkedIn. So try it, have a look, see if you have some results, and tell me.
Okay, so this is your home page, let's say, and you want to look for jobs. So when you are on your home page, you can access a list of interesting questions when you click on job section, and then you click on interview prep.
So this is another feature that I find really interesting. If you want to prepare and train in answering some question you can be asked at interviews, go to the interview prep section. I'm going through on the next slide on a few questions I personally like to use or I've seen managers using in interviews. So it's this one.
Right. When you click on jobs and you click on interview prep, you get there. You have a list of questions, common questions that recruiters, hiring managers can ask you. So typically, some managers can ask you to tell about yourself. For some manager positions, you can be asked to tell about the time you showed leadership. So this is a good tool on LinkedIn because it gives you obviously an overview of what this question entails. And also sample answers obviously you have to customize these and back up your answers with concrete examples. The more concrete you are, the more accurate you will sound, and you will be making a bigger impact. I'm going to select a few questions that I like to ask myself personally during interviews. So let's have a look. So you've got leadership questions, what your coworkers say about you. So that's a good one for getting to know a bit of your personality. What your colleagues would you say about you? Describing your most challenging project. That's a good one because you have the opportunity to also present the solutions you have brought to the team, to the company by approaching your way a specific difficulty. So be very personal every time you answer a question. Don't be too general, because we want to know exactly how you would approach a certain problem and the way you would solve it yourself. That's what we want to see from this interview question. It's basically about knowing you more. So the more you give us, then the happier we would be, if that makes sense. Obviously something you've accomplished that you are proud of. Yeah, this one is not often asked, but I think some people like to do what you do outside of work, especially again to know what it's like to work with you in general as a person when you have to manage difficult situation or conflicting priorities. That's a good one as well that you can be asked. Yes, that was a difficult one. Tell me about a time you failed or made a mistake. Actually, it's giving you a hard time during the interview, but for us, it's also about how you bounce back to some tough situation. So it's important to show that you're able to do so. A time when you had to persuade someone. Obviously, we want to assess how you can influence people in general, etc. So I guess they are good to review. Review these questions under the job section in interview prep on LinkedIn, and they will prep you all right for this lovely question that we like to ask.
So sorry if I was a bit insisting on this, but I think it's a big part of your interview prep to answer some either situation question, competency-based question. So yes, be prepared for those. Now we're moving on to your branding. So what it is to have your branding during your job search. So it's about making what make you special stand out. So you need to be specific on what's your added value compared to your other competitors on the market, outlining them and being very specific about what you can offer to a company and a group. So make sure to describe as well your career success stories, whether it is on your CV, on your cover letter. Be specific, have some figures there, list some metrics, list some projects where you were very successful, and the more we can see, then the more it makes interesting for us to discuss during the interview. I would say as well, part of your branding to align your image. For example, if you use a picture for LinkedIn, you can use it as well on Twitter, on, I don't know, Instagram, Facebook. So at least you've got the same picture there, so people can recognize you easily. If you present yourself on a few lines, be consistent, keep the same message out there. For example, for me, I take my example as a recruitment manager. What makes me stand out? I would say maybe my language skills. I've put forward that I'm multilingual and I can adapt to different cultural contexts, different environments. So that's my strength, and I'd be consistent in outlining this during my application, job interviews, and I emphasize on it. So do the same, create a whole branding around you, and use it. Use it for this purpose. I'm sorry if I went a bit over time, but thank you. That's my view on job hunting from a recruitment perspective, and I hope you liked it. So feel free to ask me any questions you have, and we'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, Sendra. Thank you very much for such an interesting speech. We have time for 2 or 3 quick questions for Sendra right now. Who wants to ask a question? Walter?
Yeah, so I was wondering, I went for an interview recently, and the recruiter didn't get back to me for like 2 weeks. Oh. And I was wondering, like, should you expect a recruiter like to be in constant touch with you, or what should you expect from a recruiter?
Was it a recruitment agency or a company directly, Walter?
It was a recruitment agency.
Okay, well, I would advise you to follow up. So if you don't hear about, if you don't have any feedback after a week, a bit more than a week, follow up with your contacts. Just give them a quick call or drop them a quick line, a quick message. It shows your interest. We like that, to be honest. We like to be reminded that you're waiting for an answer. You are very interested, so you want to hear back from them. I would say follow up as much as you can. It's not a bad thing. And if they don't reply to you, they are bad recruiters. They should reply to you. They should give you an update. So yeah, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, because if you spend the time going to an interview, you should at least get feedback on your interview.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Walter.
Thanks, Walter.
Any other questions for Sendra? I want to ask you a question, Sendra, if there's no one else asking. Yeah. Sometimes I wonder how current the vacancies that are advertised are, both in LinkedIn and in other media. Yes. What's your opinion and what's your experience? Because sometimes I keep seeing the same things coming back and back a few months after.
True. Well, most of the time, vacancy advertised are real vacancies, especially if they are advertised by the company directly, the direct employer. So we have a genuine need for I don't know, let's say a software engineer. So these adverts are typically, I would say, advertised for maybe around a month, 2 months max, and then they don't stay online. If they are repetitively coming online, then maybe it's just a vacancy to attract candidates and potential future talent that they want to build. They want to build a talent pool, and it happens mainly with recruitment agencies, I would say. They want to continuously source for the same profiles. So it happens, but I would say maybe 70% of the time they are real vacancies.
Yeah. Okay. I have more questions about talent, but I would rather leave that for the panel discussion. Okay. Yeah. So if there are no more questions, then we can move on to the second speech. Now, our second panelist is, oh, sorry. Okay. Yes, Tim.
Sorry to interrupt. Just a quick thing.